DEI did not benefit black people en masse. It benefited a couple of token blacks. And I'm sorry, y'all gonna lose your little token benefits. But DEI did not benefit the masses of African people. Barack Obama is the first president to use the words diversity, equity, and inclusion in his DEI initiative that he signed in August of 2011, mandating that the federal government take steps to diversify, include, and guarantee equity for minorities. But it was all about the rainbow. That law was about immigrants and rainbow gangers. It was not about black people. Yes, you have a few black people who are going to lose some DEI benefits, but we are 42 million. And when we add our African immigrant brothers and sisters in, we're about 45, 48. I'm going to round it up because they always suppress our numbers. I'm going to round it up to 50 million Africans in America. Somebody help me understand how Barack Obama's DEI has benefited black people in these past 16 years. Help me understand. Affirmative action is not the same as DEI. Affirmative action was destroyed by George Bush in the opening years of the 21st century. He destroyed it. The Supreme Court destroyed it. Affirmative action has not been a governmental priority since Lyndon Baines Johnson. Affirmative action has been dead. Affirmative action been dead. That's why Barack Obama called it diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? I'll tell you why Barack Obama didn't call it affirmative action. Barack Obama didn't call it affirmative action because he didn't want it associated with black people. He didn't want it associated with black people. You're fighting for something that was not created to help you. Let me say it again for the kunocracy in the back. You're fighting for something that was not created to help you. Let me say it one more time. You're fighting for something that wasn't created to help you. They are distracting you from your main fights. We should be fighting against mass incarceration. We should be fighting against miseducation. We should be fighting against police genocide. We should be fighting against economic apartheid. We should be fighting against homelessness and gentrification. Not Nelly for performing, not Snoop Dogg, not Black History, and not DEI.
In January 2025, the President of the United States of America issued an executive order titled Ending Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunities, which revoked Executive Order 11246. This 1965 order had mandated affirmative action and prohibited employment discrimination by federal contractors. This revocation effectively removed requirements for federal contractors to implement diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And because of these actions, so many people have been fired from their workplaces. And we also seen people that have been given paid leaves with a promise, with Trump telling these companies to make sure that these people don't go back to work and they have to lay them off. So yeah, but black people came online and they're discussing this, and they are saying that it's time to boycott these big corporations that don't care about us. They don't care about our well-being. All they care is about the black dollar. And the black small businesses people are actually telling these people, please do not boycott these corporations. Do not boycott these companies, because at the end of the day, we have our goods in the stores, we have our shelves there, and we need to sell these goods. I don't know what you all think, guys, but actually a good number of black people have said that they are going to boycott these companies. They are not going to give their hard-earned money to corporations and companies and people that don't really care about them. I would love you to tell me what your thoughts are on the comment section. I want us to watch these videos together. Every clip and every stitch that you'll be seeing on our today's episode, credits belongs to the original creators of this video. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, my good name is Gracey D. Kindly consider subscribing to this channel. So let's dive right ahead and we'll come back with more commentary.
Now that the inauguration is over, it's time to stand on business all 2025. I heard a content creator say, if you do not want a diverse workplace, you don't deserve a diverse consumer base. I'm going to give you a list of companies that have rolled back their DEI hire programs, meaning that they should be boycotted all 2025. Amazon, Meta, McDonald's, Walmart, Moelis & Coors, Ford, John Deere, Toyota, Lowe's, Harley Davidson, Brown Forman, Tractor Supply & Co.
This is a test, black people. It's here. It's here. Either we're going to pass it or either we're going to fail. We're going to have to unite to get things done and fight against this like never before, because they are coming for us every day. It's something new. And we have to stand up, and we got to definitely have to fight against this. We need all of our leaders to take a stand. Every day, ordinary people. Y'all, it's time to get on board. It really is. Come with me. I'm here.
Okay, cousins, let's talk. Let's come. Let's have a meeting. Do we really want a revolution? And what I mean by that is, are we going to boycott in 2025 alone, or are we going to do it together? I don't want to be the only one out here boycotting Amazon, boycotting Target, boycotting, Hobby Lobby or wherever. Like, I am always down for the collective fight, the spirit, the movement for liberation, whatever's going to uplift us and push us forward. I'm with it. But I don't want to be one of just hundreds or thousands. If our ancestors could move through the bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, and actually shift that whole situation, there's no reason why, with our almost $1 trillion buying power as black Americans in this country, that we can't do the same thing. You think Target would be having this issue or any of these DEI issues if we hit them in their pocketbooks? Come on. So the real question is, are we really going to do this? Because I'm down. I'm down to do it. Next time we have a collective meeting, I would like this to be at the top of the agenda. Are we going to do this together, and are we going to have a coordinated effort to really make sure that if we boycott and we put our buying power where it needs to be, that we're doing it together? Because the power is in being collective, and I feel like we're not doing that. So let me know, cousins, what we doing?
There's been this big debate online about whether or not people should still shop at Target, Walmart, Amazon. But what I noticed is that we're so quick to turn on one another. Like the way they turned on Tabitha Brown when she did that post about her stuff in Target and still supporting the black businesses inside of Target. This is about every black-owned business that's inside of these stores. How are you going to feel now when you can't even go into these stores and conveniently purchase the products you've been purchasing? Yeah, you can order online. Sure, you can order online, wait 5 to 7 days for it to come in the mail, right? Pay for extra shipping. It's an inconvenience. I had someone get upset and made a comment about my last video where they were saying like, this is for everybody, diversity is for everyone. Yes, diversity is for everyone. It's supposed to include everybody. But unfortunately, black-owned businesses are the only ones that are being affected. I have not seen yet not one white-owned business who has their product in Target or Walmart who are concerned about their products in those stores, because it's not affecting them, it's affecting us. And I don't understand why people don't get that. It's like the same thing for me when people say all lives matter. When we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying other lives don't matter. What we're saying is our lives haven't mattered. That's why we've been, we see our black men and women being killed by the police. I'm a solution-based person. So for me, what can we do now? Because I see a lot of posts about people saying, oh, why can't they just get their products and do their own thing? It's not that simple. We're talking about major conglomerates. We're talking about retail chains that are huge, right? That most black-owned small businesses don't have the capital for. It's not that simple. Also, most of these people are under contract. with these retailers. So it's also about negotiating out of the contract. Then what do you do with all the product that's still on the shelves? If we don't support the black-owned businesses inside of Target and Walmart, what will happen is they'll discontinue it for low performance. So until these black-owned businesses can get their business outside of these retailers, it's a matter of what they can do now. Okay, so for right now, if they're under contract, they may have to stay unless they can negotiate out of their contract. Then once they get out of the contract, there's no telling how much merchandise that they have at these retailers. So they may have to pay back what they receive from these retailers for taking back the product. So until we can cut out the middleman, what can we do? Buy black. If you shop in any of these retailers, simply buy only from the black companies.
To boycott or not boycott? That is the question. I know we've all seen the discourse between Tabitha Brown and Target and DEI and this and that. Do we boycott? Do we not boycott? Is that effective? What else should we do? What should we be doing? Activism. Activism. How do we become active in 2025? What radicalized you? Could it be being born brown? A radical notion. Okay, so how do we participate in that? We want to resist collectively. We want collective resistance, but how do we do it? How do we do it? What's the first step? How do we get involved? How do we make our voices heard? It does work. Resisting, boycotting, protesting does work. It has worked in the past. We're going to talk about this, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday, to boycott or not boycott. But I want you guys to, in the meantime, watch The Long Walk Home. It's on Tubi. Starring Whoopi Goldberg. It's about the Montgomery bus boycott. And it shows the effectiveness of collective resistance. And it does work. It is a concept that works. It can work. Will we work it? I don't know. I used to shop at Target. I'm not a big Target shopper now, but I feel like that Tabitha Brown's message was pretty insensitive. Once you then came on the internet talking about how you retired your husband and moved into the big old house and and people are scraping to get by at this point of time. We are trying to collectively resist the political injustices that we're seeing, and you're saying basically keep shopping with us because I got bills to pay. I understand that makes sense to you, because once you done start buying up stuff and living a certain lifestyle, you got to keep that money coming in. And she like, it's easy for y'all to say. It's not going to be easy for nobody. I don't know if y'all don't understand, but Donald Trump is setting us up to be at war with the rest of the world. And my son is going into the military. It was already his plan. I wasn't planning for Donald Trump to be the president, but it's scary times. I feel like we have to do something. And some people are saying, well, everybody's not going to do it, so it's not going to work. Everybody doesn't have to do it, but part of your responsibility as an individual is your own footprint, your own example, your own contribution or lack thereof. What side of history do you want to be on? If you don't support what Target is doing, don't spend your dollars there. Don't sit up and wait for everybody else to agree. You can start the resistance in your own home. You start the resistance in your own neighborhood. You start the revolution right here with your own cell phone. If you don't support any companies that you don't support them. Be accountable to yourself, okay? Each person accountable to themselves as we work on our collective consciousness. The stakes haven't been this high in a long time. There's been a buildup here, and we have to figure out strategically what to do. I'm not a political scientist or strategist, but what I will say is you have your own integrity. If you don't support what Target is doing and what they stand for, don't shop there. Same thing with Amazon. Same thing even with Meta apps or, different billionaires that are throwing their money behind this administration. If you don't want to support their ministry, don't support it. You ain't got to support Mark Zuckerberg's ministry, okay? Step out of it. You have to answer to yourself. You got to be able to look in the mirror. If you can't support what Target is doing, you don't need everybody else to agree with you. That's kind of the problem. People be scared to stand up for themselves. I saw a couple of white creators talking about black community, I stand with you, Latino. You ain't gotta stand with us. Stand for yourself. Do you support what this administration is doing? Okay, you should be offended. If you're a white person and you are not a racist, you should be offended about what's going on for yourself, not for me. I'm not asking you to think or feel for me. You should be offended for yourself at what's going on and look to create a solution and understand your privilege, understand your power, and figure out, what can I do? If I'm a white person and I'm outraged at what's going on, what can I do about it? I'm going to do something. And if you're a black person and you don't know what to do, but you don't like what's going on, the first thing you do is withdraw your support from it. That's been an effective tactic throughout time. If you hit someone in the pocket. Now, is it inconvenient? Yes. Yes, it is. So is oppression. So is oppression. Choose your heart, okay? It is what it is. Like, you don't have to have all the answers to begin, okay? We don't have to know exactly how we're going to come together in order to start. It starts with your dollars. It starts with your time. It starts with your energy. It starts with your voice. It starts with what you do have, what you already have in your hands, okay? You don't got to have all the answers. You don't have to know everything to do, but what do you already have in your hands? What can you fight with already? Okay? See y'all in class. We're going to be talking about this, not this week, but the following week. We're going to get more into activism. We're going to talk about what the black community can do, needs to do. How do we strategize moving forward? It's going to be an interesting discussion. So, Hillman Talk.
Yeah guys, so actually I've been seeing videos on people online saying that DEI never actually benefited black people at all. It was actually put there for the black Americans and for every other marginalized community in the United States of America, but it didn't really work for the black Americans. There's this one comment on the last video I did, and this person told me these people are either too young to know or simply don't understand. These are people that were actually reacting on a video I did about, you know, Trump revoking on this Bill 11246. Or an old foundation of black Americans. The Civil Rights Bill, although designed for black people, actually benefited all other marginalized groups more, with white women being the largest beneficiaries. Black Americans got the most out of civil rights after the bill was signed, but as the years went on, other groups latched onto it, and even to this day, it was being expanded to include groups that weren't even vocal in society when the bill was signed. That is the trans community, for example. The Civil Rights Bill became a gateway for immigrants, white women, and special interest groups, while foundational black Americans received the crumbs. And the irony is that the world uses black Americans as face of civil rights when in fact they benefit the least. Same thing with DEI. It's an everybody but black initiative that uses black people to be the face of it. The dismantling of this bill will affect everybody else, minorities, more than it does to foundational black Americans. And I was thinking about this, and I also saw a video that Dr. Umar did, and he was also talking about these. So yeah, this is what's going on, guys. So many companies have rolled back on DEI, but you know, after black Americans saying, you know, there was no way like we were actually benefiting from this, because I've seen a couple of videos of black Americans saying this and explaining this to me on my comment section. And now, as we're sitting here, black Americans, especially the small business, the small black American businesses that actually have their goods or do businesses in these stores like Target, and who sell their goods on online, like on Amazon, they'll be affected by these after people boycotting these companies. And I was asking myself, I was sitting back and asking myself, maybe these people should see this as an opportunity for them to grow and support each other. There is a day I did a video on Black Project 2025, and you know, the saddest part about this thing, when I did this video, there were people that actually came to my comment section and saying this will just go like any other, it will not work. Like, they don't believe that they can actually pull this and work for themselves. I know that there are so many other times that Black Americans have tried to stand for themselves, to have their own neighborhoods, to have their own businesses, to have their own schools, and you know, so many atrocities were done to them, and some neighborhoods even burnt to ashes, and some are actually, as to this day that we are talking, buried underwater. Like, you know, I did a video about that. You can also go and check this. But now this young lady, who is actually around 21 years, came up with this plan to start the Black Project 2025, and this project was to help, or is to help, every other Black person living in the United States of America, the Black Americans, to come together, do businesses together, to help each other locate where Black businesses are and go support them. But now I'm seeing here young businesses coming on social media begging people not to boycott these corporations that actually don't care about Black Americans because they have their businesses there. Why don't you guys just, you know, decide it's all done, it's done, it's done, there's nothing we can do about it, but you know, we can always find a way to move forward. What if it comes and these companies say that, you know, we don't want to take your stocks anymore, we don't want, like, your products are not moving, your products, people are not buying them, this is after people boycotting them. So what's the next step? You should always have a next step. You should always have another option of, you know, what if this doesn't work, I should have another way of this, how it's supposed to work. And I feel actually this is the right time for the Black Americans to make sure that the Black Project 2025 actually gets in place and works for their favor, and works to support each and every other Black business, each and every other Black community in the United States of America, each and every other person doing business in the United States of America. And this Black Project 2025, they seem to be very serious, and this is actually the place where these people that are complaining of people not to boycott these corporations, these are the places that they should go. This is how you should, you know, find a way on how to let people know on how they can, you know, buy your products, they can order your products. You should create a way for people to be able to buy your things online. I know with Amazon it was easy because it was, you know, just ordering and getting things delivered at your doorstep or at your address, which actually made things easy. But is it so hard for Black Americans to come up with such a thing where they can actually have an online based shop where that's only dealing with Black products only, you know, that's selling and also buying Black products or supporting Black businesses? I don't think if you put your mind and your heart into it, it would not be that hard for you guys to come up with such a thing. I don't know, you all can tell me on the comment section. This is just something that I sat down and I was thinking, why would Black Americans not come up with such a thing that would actually work for them to support themselves? Because with everything that we've seen, especially in this January, it's clear that these people, they don't care. It's clear that even these bills that were actually put there to support the Black Americans, they don't work in your favor, guys. They work in other people's favors. Other people are always taking advantages. Other races and other, you know, groups are taking advantage of what's supposed to be yours. And this is actually should be an eye-opening for each and every other person, for each and every other business, you know. I don't understand why you want to continue doing business in a shop or with a corporation or a company that's treating your people like this. It does not make sense to me. You know, I feel like that's beyond selfish. You want your business to go on, but you want people to spend money on companies that don't care about their community. It's good for you all to sit down and find a way together on how this can work. So yeah, you can go and check out the Black Project 2025 and, you know, get to connect with these people to help yourself, to help your business, and also help the community rise, because they have Black lawyers there, they have Black doctors, Black teachers, Black nurses that are actually willing to come up together and help the community. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching up to this part. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, kindly consider subscribing, and until the next episode, bye.